Hey guys, Jay Anthony here with dreamersandcreators.org. We are a Colorado nonprofit designed by artists for artists. And today I'm really excited to have on our program Shandra Steffens with Essence Embroidering. I've watched her passion and dreams come together, and she's an amazing soul. And I'm really privileged to have her on our program this day as we celebrate and go a little bit into her mind and celebrate what she's doing, celebrate what she's created, and celebrate where she's going. And so, Shandra, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's such an honor.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Kind of what do you do? Where did you grow up? What profession, education?
Yeah, definitely. My name is Shandra Steffens. I grew up in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I am still in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And it's something that I've been doing full-time as a job for about 3 years, but it's always been a passion of mine since like middle school to do clothing and custom apparel.
Awesome. And what made you get into that?
Mainly just making gifts for friends. A lot of it was just novelties, ideas that I had, putting it onto t-shirts, jeans, backpacks, gifts, cards, and just artwork that I would create for people that I would give to them. And some of them still have them today. So
Awesome. So tell me a little bit more about what you do. You had mentioned embroidering and a little bit more. What is it that you do to affect people?
my biggest thing with Essence Embroidery is a reinvestment. I came from a long background of influencers and people from modeling, and it really just kind of branched out into designing for clothing, including sewing and embroidery, making a full business out of the embroidery and t-shirts.
Awesome. And so do you consider yourself an artist? You mentioned a little bit about designing and making clothes and drawing things up. How did you go from embroidering to designing, doing both? How does this work?
It really just started out with a lot of drawings and ideas when I was younger, around like 17, and even younger than that. I even have a lot of the books on my shelf now that I have from like original designs, and just art in a notebook, ideas that just kind of always just lingered in my mind, something that I wanted to do. And once I kind of started branching out more, I realized that it's more of a potential, So once I started doing modeling more, I started going to meetings more, the more opportunity I felt that I could do with fashion designing and reinvestment to others. That's one of my biggest things, is not just creating something that I like what I'm wearing right now, but it is designing and some embroidery, I should say, but being able to reinvest into others in their fashion house brand builder. So as an artist, I like to take that translation to reinvestments into other people for fashion house brand building.
Awesome. And that's so critical, because not everyone can do that a lot of people have these ideas, but then, it's like you have the dream, but then you have to get the creative side. It becomes the how do I get there and stuff like that. And so, but before you got here, there were people that inspired you, that motivated you, that encouraged you, that taught you. Do you remember the moment of clarity where you're like, this is what I want to do? What was that moment like?
It's really good. One of the first times I went to a fashion show and I was walking for Gabriella Designs, I was approached by one of a conglomerate group that I was in for businesses, and they said they know her. And it made me just so inspired to see someone else recognized. Once I started kind of being recognized, it's just such a good feeling, And I love to see others and take notes and be able to learn from everybody. So.
That's awesome. And so watching other people's dreams come to fruition, plus you're able to help them kind of brand themselves through your embroidering, through your customization of whether it's putting print ideas, whether it's a photograph or an image or a text or a logo, through embroidering. What kind of things do people embroider onto normally?
Well, when I first started with hats mainly, and basic items like sweatshirts. And a lot of it too is that I'm an artist first, but a business owner second. So I like to try different things, try different niche markets, and apply it. But yeah, it's been pretty good. We're here for all the same reason, to express our art.
Yeah.
And
What is an artist?
an artist is somebody who can take what they feel into paper or into something, is what I feel. An art is a lot of things. You can have an art of a lot of things, including painting, fashion designing, development, spiritualism. There's an artist in everything.
And what do you like about like the things that you do? How do you know you're done? What is it that satisfies you about what you do?
When I see somebody's business really grow, because to them it's their little baby that is growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and we work with each other. It's like it takes a village to kind of do what you need to do. And my favorite part is seeing people so happy with their reinvestment that they got into themselves. I really, really strongly encourage people to do that. Get some products and then resell them. See what you can make off of them. I've worked with a lot of people that are very satisfied that they made some purchases of some hats and made a lot of money out of it and stuff. So when I see the success come from them and that they're satisfied, that's one of the biggest things. And when they come back. So
not only are you good at helping them make their ideas and dreams come to fruition, but you also help become somewhat of an expert, somewhat in platforms to be able to showcase their pieces, popular sites like Etsy, Pinterest, or whatever else that you use, just so they can kind of, with that notion of let your work speak for itself. I think at the end of the day, as an art piece, an artist, it's people will fall in love with what you're doing or what you've created, because you had the ability to kind of put together a package, something that made sense, whether it's a drawing of a horse, whether it's a song, whatever the case may be. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great point. One of the things that I've learned is I am an artist first, but a business owner second. So I have to be able to take a lot of this in translation. So the more research that I've done, the more I learned about how to kind of build these platforms and use it. One of the most important things is shoppability, I think, is being able to take your first step out there, even if it's not that great, finding the changes you need to make. And as soon enough, you're finding yourself in your niche market, which I've definitely found on Etsy and in a few groups with a variety of products with embroidery.
What kind of jobs did you do in the past, and were they helpful to get you to where you're at now?
A few of them specifically was these seat covers. Once I had people request for bar stool covers, it was just a floodgate. Everybody wants these bar stool covers that I do on Etsy. And I do them pretty good. I have an example here to kind of show you guys, from patches to bar stool covers. Here is one of the bar stool covers that we have. This is for a custom design. I believe it's going to somewhere in the US, but it just stretches over. Just a different request. I really like doing things like this. I expect things like graduation stoles, baby items. I never would have imagined myself in a spot where a niche market was just something so interesting, different. Never would have expected it, and it came from a request from getting out there.
And a niche market would be considered what? Kind of like just bar stools, like the embroidering? What?
Exactly. Like, to me, a niche market is something that you find works for you. A lot of the times it's something as a surprise, you did not expect it. As an example, when I started my embroidery business, I didn't think to do this. Maybe some car seat covers, but I never would have thought, bar stool covers would be such a lucrative kind of thing. It's something that you end up sticking with. So you'll have all these other ideas and you love doing these things, but this is your moneymaker. Your niche market is what's going to build you up to be able to reinvest into all those other things and also find multiple avenues of niche markets. It's really important.
Yeah. Yeah. So what that means is like other revenue generating streams that can try to come into your business so that you're not just putting yourself into one corner and say, this is all I do, but I can also embroider onto other things. Because you don't only do embroidering, but you do the patches, you do sublimations, you do other. What would the terms that you would describe in your industry that you do?
It really would be a customization business where I do a variety of transfers and sublimation on shirts, bags, on a variety of products, and then at the embroidery. Once you've kind of built up, and embroidery is not so easy to learn, but easy to master. T-shirts are easy to learn, hard to master. So once you get into it, you're going to be finding yourself in other avenues too, once you've mastered. And so that's another thing I've learned learned a lot about serging and sewing and working on a lot of various projects that I find will be a niche market aside from barstool covers, kind of completely different into the fashion designing and sewing and production of a fashion house brand build. So now I'm finding myself branching out in all kinds of other things that are affiliated, but just a new market to try to find that niche. So you will grow and grow trying to find that niche. And sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't. And sometimes you'll move on to the next batch of ideas that you have, and niche markets do show up well.
So what kind of tools and resources do you use to do your business?
That's a great question. The biggest thing is people. When I started the embroidery and a variety of other things, I joined a lot of Facebook groups. That's super crucial. So, being able to grasp the whole world at your hands through the internet is very important. You can only find so much in your local town, and sometimes a face-to-face experience and seeing a machine is really one of a kind. But having somebody online and groups of 40,000 people that you can have support you and ask questions to, that was the biggest thing. And being able to just share what I do already, like with modeling, I already had avenues that I knew people. And once they started seeing me get, customized apparel kind of out the door, now they're interested. So it's really about just reinvesting into the world. You're bigger than your town. You are there. The whole world's in front of you. I ship to Hong Kong. I ship to UK, all over the world. And it's mainly because of getting onto platforms that allow me to access those people.
And that's an interesting point, because a lot of times we feel like we're on an island and only our family, friends, and fans that love and support us all these years are our only audience. But there's this whole other group that doesn't even know you exist. And
Right.
So what kind of platform do you use to get in front of those people?
My biggest platform is the shopability through the Etsy, and secondary to that is going to be any type of Facebook with social proofing. So having a Facebook up doesn't quite give enough. You have to participate with that Facebook into groups that maybe are your niche market, things like, Christmas seasons, things like that. I'll join into groups and kind of join in and get business that way. But shopability is most important.
Shopify, Etsy, what other platforms would you recommend that are pretty good? And what would you need to be able to start something like that?
I love Etsy because of the learning experience. It is easy to learn, hard to master. Amazon does 93% of worldwide sales. It is the best platform that you can get, even aside from your own website. And that's being built right now. I have about 3 listings up, but nothing compared to my Etsy. It's a little bit more complicated to master, but you are grasping 93% of sales, and it comes all over the world too. You can learn how to ship Prime, how to make your products and ship it to fulfillment by Amazon warehouse, things like that, and factoring to your costs with all of those fees and things to do that, but it allows you to scale. It's definitely the best way to grasp a worldwide scale.
Okay. That way you're not limiting yourself or holding yourself back to kind of a farmer's market or something on the street, because a lot of
Yeah.
times the artist, they have to figure out how can they duplicate their art. And that's a critical thing, because many times they just make one painting, one dress, or one piece, and their sentimental value is worth $1 million. But sometimes as a business, you got to figure out how to scale up, as you mentioned, to be able to repeat what you're doing and stuff. And so now you in-house are able to make a lot of these things, or do you ship out? How does this work?
In-house, I do pretty much 99% of my sales. The few things that I do not do that I will third-party outsource to people around in the US and even out of country is for transfer supplies, stickers, swag bag things, add-ons for the customer trying to purchase a variety of items for their business. Now they want stickers. Well, I don't make stickers, but I can get them for a good price. So I include them into an option for sales. So it's kind of a middleman situation, but it's a really great opportunity, and it makes a whole package deal. I'm also reinvesting into another business too. So they are getting money out of my sale. And that's always nice.
That's awesome. So you're kind of like the person behind the scenes, coordinating a lot of people and things, getting their products up and out the door, because it's not just about getting the product out the door, but it's also the presentation, the shipment process. What does that look like?
Trial and error. And one of the biggest things that I've learned with that is just the processing. At first, you're going to find yourself in a lot of high costs. Soon you'll find your way to making those costs lesser and those shipping supplies be more affordable, buying in bulk. That's really one of the best things. Now I switched to a really nice polymer wrapping. I really, really like these kind of cellophanes, and also your priority mail. You can get a lot of these free supplies from the post office delivered to your house. And that's one of the things that I've learned is it's always nice to be locally recognized, but being in a online commerce opportunity allows you to go anywhere. Now I have dreams of taking my business to wherever I want to go, and I still have work day to day. Every day I'm working, and I don't have to resource too much to be able to develop those sales. Having an offsite location, those things really do matter, and having your presence known. But it's really nice being able to just wake up and work and make money while you sleep.
That's right. Kind of again, going back to the notion of letting your work speak for itself, by you taking photos of the work that you created will then open up other doors to other people to get them to fall in love with your work. Because that's what art is like, hey, I didn't know I wanted that painting or that sculpture until I saw it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Especially with something like this, like my Barstool covers, people don't see it, and then they are so excited because they finally found something to do. And it's just made my brain grow so much with ideas with that.
Yeah. Because you have the customization of people just kind of being able to recognize themselves or recognize somebody else that's important to them. It's just a unique gift idea that leaves something behind for their behinds to sit on. But like you said, it's not just that's what you're maybe famous for, but you can do embroidering on other stuff as well, jackets, shoes, hats. What are the things would people embroider on? What's the weirdest thing that you've been asked to embroider onto?
I guess a few spots where it would just be impossible to embroider. Things like on a chair, we would do a patch application, but they wonder if they could send me the fabric so they can put it onto the chair. Things like stuffed animals or just materials that could not be embroidered. A top hat, embroidering on a top hat. You would have to do that before it's sewn together, or we would have to do a iron-on applique, like a patch, and put it on there. But so I get a lot of requests, but I never ever will turn somebody down from the knowledge. I usually will never turn down a job. I will always try to converse, and it may factor in price with that. So I always try to give a really good opportunity for interesting jobs. For me, I'm not a Walmart. I don't have the capability of just saying, I'll take the next order. I'll take the next order. Don't waste your time on things you are not good at. But in the same sense, every opportunity is an opportunity. When it's coming to your door and somebody's willing to work on a project with you and they are so satisfied, the next time that they come to you, they may just get a shirt, and not a top hat again.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And not only that, but they also might know somebody else that can use your services once they see, the product. Well, where did I get that? Where did you get that? Who made that for you? How did you do that? And they can refer business back to you and stuff. And so it's leveraging other people and understanding the power of leverage. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so
absolutely.
So
knowing your worth for that. That's absolutely right.
Yeah. And so what kind of things inspire you? So what kind of things inspire you to do what you do?
A lot of it is seeing a few people that I've seen, like fashion designers, like Gabriella Designs, one of my most original, inspirable people. I've worked with a few customers recently that just seem so dedicated. So they inspire me. My dedicated customers really keep me going. When I first started, I was not good at hats. I made about 7 hats for a customer, and I look back at those hats, they are not that great, but they still stuck with me. They still got the orders, and they really like them still. And really good development of customers, from my online stuff. When I see things like, I sold something to somebody in Hong Kong, I'm just lit up with light and so excited to see that we're going to ship this to go to Malta. I just want to see what it's like there. I just, every time I hear it's going to a different country or something like that, I'm like, I just wonder what it'd be like to see it there, And a lot of things too is that it's more important than you think for a lot of these custom apparel items. Sometimes I'll get a lot of memorabilia stuff, things for remembering somebody who's passed away or anything like that, or a memory that they just never want to forget, like a marriage anniversary or something. And that is really nice to be able to make those items. Sometimes when I've given just a hat over to someone, I mean, they're in tears, just so happy. It's their prized possession. And I helped make that. So that's really great. That's inspiring very much.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So another thing that's very inspirational about you that a lot of people don't know is that you do have some motivator behind you, as well as a mini version of yourself. Shandra is a single mother of a daughter. And so that is also a big, healthy motivator for you to make money off of your art and doing what you do and stuff. And so watching her grow and having that ability to be with her, because you're, as you said, you're making money at night, sales are going out, orders are being done, and money's coming in, thankfully, because, when you started, you're like, holy crap, is this going to hit? Is this going to go? Buying these first machines and trying to balance raising a child and starting a family, it just became a lot. But here you are. Do you remember all that?
Oh, I do. I remember, it takes a lot of work-life balance, but it's all worth it. When I'm like, how does this look? And she's like, it looks amazing. And I'm just she's my best critique, she's so good for it.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. But but she'll grow up and she'll find her own passions and stuff. And I think part of being successful is being at peace in life, as well as enjoying the process of discovering with her, as you discover yourself, and as you discover new customers and stuff. And if people wanted to find you, where would they be able to find you if they want to follow your work?
My best way is to go through my Facebook. On the top of my Facebook personal one, there's a link tree. Any link tree that you find has every bit of access. But under the name Essence Embroidery or Essence Custom, you'll be able to find me on Etsy. You'll be able to find me on Instagram. I also have a Picosha. I also have a Patuk. So I have a variety of ways to kind of see how I work and how to shop. But Essence Embroidery is a pretty original name. Immediately you'll find some links if you Google it.
That's awesome. Now, do you have any upcoming events for yourself that you're going to be part of? Any projects where people can find you out? Or do you have a storefront? Are you out in the community? How important is being involved in the community to you?
Very much well important. That's very well important. Something of reinvestment I've always been interested in, especially with teaching others how to do what I do. That's one of my most focused thing, is to share my knowledge. And this business that I'm in, it is a very highly demanded market with an oversaturation, but there's so much demand. So I have no problem sharing all of this information. I love teaching people how to start a t-shirt business, how to get a press, what's the pricing, embroidery issues, how to fix your machine, technical problems that you may have. I'm always here to help with that, like I am in those Facebook groups. I really try to chip into the community with other people that are doing the same thing that I'm doing. And anytime I'm here, even when I was working at the mall on some side jobs and stuff before I started getting more scaled with this, I always had people kind of coming in and asking me, how is it that you registered your name through the Secretary of State? How is it that you created the business side of that? And I've always worked well with trying to teach others. I've kind of gone up and down, like any other business, especially being a single mom. I have the capability of having my business at home. So I moved it home. I had a storefront, not too far, a couple of miles away. Wasn't the best shop, but it was something off site, and it was a beginning stage. I learned a lot that I wanted to kind of work at home and be with my baby more and enjoy my life here. And it's a beautiful house. It's a beautiful opportunity. So now I'm taking better photos. I feel better while I'm working, not so all over the place. It's a work-life balance here. And that was just kind of one of the things I learned, is that maybe soon, maybe down the road, I'll be looking into a square footage of a warehouse and maybe a retail location, like a walk-in place in the mall or something. But right now, I am doing so well with the online commerce that I'm very, very happy with that. When you have walk-in traffic, it comes with a lot of things. Yeah. So it's nice to kind of be here where I'm at. And soon enough, I hope to have it to where anybody, like I'm telling you now, where you can find me online, instead they can just come in, and see the hats and see what I'm making. Because that's the biggest thing, is that I really work well with the proving of samples. I want to make sure that you really like your product. So I'm always really, really open to sending samples and stuff like that to show my work.
Yeah. And just such a great resource as a person and stuff. For folks, if they're interested in reaching out to you and stuff. Now, do you use social media much? And you said, again, people can find you on social media at Essence Embroidery, Essence Customs. But how important is it to be on social media? Is it?
It is. I'd say it's your first step with creating your avenue, business, whatever it is you're doing. You have to have shoppability. So a way that they can come to you, buy stuff. But the second most important thing is social proof, because no one wants to buy or trust somebody with $90 Barstool covers if they don't know that it's going to actually ship. They don't know it's going to turn out good. So social proof is really, really important. And it doesn't take too much to establish. It just needs to be started. So if you don't have people on your Facebook that are responding, you don't have anything kind of going on, it's really important to have some type of social proof, especially nowadays with the technology that we live in. Everything is based on that kind of stuff. Out of two people, I'm way more likely to buy something from somebody where everyone's satisfied and I can see it, and or just see the work. So social proof is very crucial. And I believe in that in Instagram, especially. Facebook is something like that is really great for that imprint of that you're legitimate. But I really get one of my best avenues and best traffic is from things like Instagram Reels, Instagram itself, which is a really good social platform. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, because again, you're meeting people where they're at, right? Mm-hmm. So then your website forces them to get off and go see where you're at, or even your storefront. But the social media is like a rushing river. That's daily live activity. This is happening now. And so it kind of shares some of your work and stuff. So So let's get a little more lively. Now, do you watch a lot of movies, and what's your favorite movie?
Oh, I'm kind of a different person. Lately, I've been I have, good memberships with everything, but I do free movies on YouTube, and I just go to town clicking. You never know what you're going to get. It could be terrible. It could be great. And some of the most classic movies that I've watched were definitely on there. I'd say right recently would be Mr. Popper with Jim Carrey and the penguins that he has. I'd say that's like one of my most liked movies recently.
Yeah. So if a movie were made about your life, two things, what would it be? What would be the name, and who would play you?
Oh, I have no idea. I guess it would be I guess it would be Lightning. It would be called Lightning, and it would be played by Sarah Johansson.
Sarah Johansson. That's a good
Yes.
pick.
Yeah.
Good pick. All right. And so let me wrap this up. So if you had a chance to go back and talk to Shandra at 15 years old, what would you tell her? What would be 5 things that you would tell her?
I guess one of the biggest things is that especially when you're at that age, you're always focused on the do's. You want a lot of freedom. And I would say to her that I would focus on the don'ts, on the things that you don't want to do. Focus on the prevention and the things that you want to focus on, to not have interfere with your life. And you'll be able to progress way better. Focus on the don'ts. As much as we want freedom and to deal with the adult life later, it is always just you're always going to be young at heart in a lot of ways. And so stay young at heart and focus on the good things.
That's awesome. And what are 3 things you must do every day?
3 things that I must do every day is wake up and feed my baby. Must do. We got to wake up and have a great day with my daughter. And the next thing is to work on my Google tasks. That's my most crucial thing, is don't get behind on scheduling. I used to do everything on paper and on binders, and there's too much information now. So I really like predictable things on Google Tasks. And the third most important thing is to check your bank account before you do anything. Before you go on social media, before you open your Facebook, even if it's $1 in there, open it up. You better see what's going on. It's going to motivate you. It's going to bring a lot of difference. Those are the 3 things.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Shandra, you deserve everything that this life has in store for you. And it's been an honor to be able to share and be part of your journey. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for you. Is there any other questions or things that you wanted to share before we wrap up this time together?
I just kind of wanted to share, like, if anybody's watching this, we're all here for the same thing, and support. And I'm very thankful that you kind of watched. And if you have any questions, I'm more than helpful to kind of give you a curriculum, give you some information, resources, and I'd love to share. It's one of my most key and happiest things to do, is to see somebody else do the same thing.
Awesome. And we'll put Shandra the link in the description so you can have access to her link tree. That way you can see her different businesses, her different platforms that she uses, so that hopefully it inspires you to be able to kind of bring everything together into one place, in one space, so that people can fall in love with your work and your abilities. And again, let your work speak for itself. And we just want to see Shandra continue to grow and go. And if you need a great embroiderer, or if you need somebody to kind of encourage you, check her out. She will be at the Colorado Creative Connections Convention on Sunday, June 11th, 2023. She's one of our guest speakers, and she's going to be able to share a little bit more insight to her mind and her thoughts on how to get to where she's got and where she's going as well. And so she's a great coach, a great mentor, and we are truly honored to have her here on program with us today. So thank you, Shandra, so much.
Thanks, Anthony. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. Check out dreamersandcreators.org. Again, that's www.dreamersandcreators.org. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.